This is the 2023 Mitsubishi Outlander GT PHEV plug-in hybrid. Now, the media has gone completely cuckoo with this car. It's been winning awards left, right, and center. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you because as likable as it might be, it does have some pretty good flaws. So those could be some deal breakers. So let's jump into the details. So the plug-in hybrid system now has a larger battery. It's now 20 kilowatt hours compared to like 13 point something. It has a rear electric motor that makes 134 horsepower and 144 pound-feet of torque. The front electric motor makes 114 horsepower but 188 pound-feet of torque. The gasoline engine is a 2.4-liter MIVEC 4-cylinder that makes only 131 horsepower and 144 pound-feet of torque. And it is hooked up to a generator that supplies the battery pack with on-demand juice. In power mode, the max total output is 248 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. The front is a transaxle with a 1-speed automatic transmission, and despite the engine being able to directly power the front wheels, it really tries to avoid doing so, and mainly it acts as an onboard power supply. The car, of course, is all-wheel drive. It has Mitsubishi's super all-wheel control. And as you can imagine, all these things together are complicated as hell. Performance in general is weak. It is programmed to be as smooth and as economical as possible in order to achieve those 70 kilometers of all-electric range. And if you don't fight it, you will achieve that in the city for sure. However, if you put it in power mode and then you hammer it, there's plenty of power on top. It's not a slow car. Everything wakes up and it gives you power, power, power. However, all these power reserves seem to deplete quite rapidly. Like I'm looking at the fuel tank gauge and it's like, and I'm wondering why. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour comes in the best I could do 7.6 seconds, which is very good actually. But the way you drive it every day in normal mode or eco or EV is a completely different story. It is very quiet, although it does have its own funky soundtrack. It's smooth, it's refined, and it rides mostly well. However, once you put your foot down, or when you deplete the batteries and then the engine starts working, things get a little bit weird. It's very unpredictable, like the way that the engine comes on and what kind of power it's giving you, and the gauges are so difficult to read, especially these twisty, knobby things. Like this view is like you'll have an accident if you try to follow what the car is doing. Like there's this kilowatt meter that goes from 0 to 10, and I assume it's the generator that shows how much power it's supplying to the battery pack. I mean, I don't even know. This gauge cluster is really difficult to read. It has a simpler mode, which I like much better. But again, other than following the energy flow to understand what's powering what, the rest is like, I can't follow. When you do run out of battery power and you start using this as a self-charging hybrid, the gas gauge really starts moving much faster than you would expect. So if you don't plan to plug it in as frequently as possible, then buy something else that's a better hybrid. Now, speaking of charging, it has the regular charging port for level 1 and level 2, and it also has a DC quick charging CHAdeMO port. From 0 to 80% at a quick charger, it will take just under 40 minutes, and at home on a level 2 240 volt charger, it's capped at 3.6 kilowatts. That means from a 0 to a 100% charge, it will take 6.5 hours. 6.5 hours. So if you plan to, like, I don't know, take the kids to school in the morning, then come back and plug in and then go somewhere else, that has to be like 6.5 hours later. I can't wait that long. So please, 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 you need to up the kilowatt onboard charger here because that's ridiculous. Like 3 hours, sure. So double it, okay? 7.2 kilowatts, that would be doable. Make it 11 kilowatts, even better. But 3.6, shoot me now. This sucks donkey balls. What a fail. And speaking of fails, let me show you this one-pedal driving implementation. First of all, they call it the innovation pedal, whatever it's called. Bullshit. They didn't innovate anything. What's happening here is you press this little button that looks like the throttle pedal is dizzy. And then what happens is as you're driving, when you lift off the throttle, it actually actuates the brake pedal. You can see the brake pedal going in. How stupid is that? What if my shoe gets caught in between there? That's like so dumb. Like, there. I just made my shoe get caught right in between. So stupid. Like, I've seen it before in, like, automated braking assist. Like, when you're about to crash and the car steps on the brakes, yeah, you see the pedal go. But for one pedal driving, that's not even one pedal driving. Because, look, if I let go, the car ain't stopping unless I actually step on the brake pedal. So, honestly, take this button and shove it up your hoo-hoo. Then there's another problem, and it's the climate control. Outside right now, it's 19 degrees Celsius. I have the climate control on 24, and the air coming out of here, honestly, is like it belongs in a fridge. This is an Arctic breeze that doesn't need to exist when it's supposed to be heat, because I want the car warmer inside than it is outside. But if I open the window for outside, it feels warmer outside right now. I mean, whoever designed or tested this or whatever must have been suffering from really severe hot flashes, because this is not what a climate control is supposed to work like. And yes, it is on auto, and I just selected the temperature, and it's just, I don't know, is the temperature sensor somewhere that is affecting this? Maybe behind the bumper and it's like super hot. I don't know. But I'm freezing in here. You can probably tell because my titties are getting hard. This is no good. Climate control failed. Now, on the upside, it's not all bad here. The Outlander is a very good looking car. From the outside, it is seriously one of the best looking SUVs. And even inside, some of the materials are surprisingly nice for the segment. It has really beautiful quilted leather. I love this contrast stitching. It has some super soft surfaces. Like these panels here, they feel like mature titties. Honestly, it's so soft. I mean, underneath it's hard, but the surface on top is really plush. If you look really carefully, it's mostly very well put together, but you can find some stuff that could be better. But overall, I'm really happy with this interior. I like it a lot. It's also very pretty and very functional. The seats even give you a basic massage, which is a very welcome feature. Unfortunately, there are no cooling seats, but everything is heated, the wheel and the rear seats also. Now, the third row back there is a really dumb implementation. It's basically just for emergency use. You have to twist the seats around, and then you have these like pop-up seats. There's absolutely zero legroom unless the middle row slides forward a little bit. It's great to have as an emergency situation, but you will never ever use the third row on a regular. It's just not happening. The second row has very good legroom, really good knee room, very good headroom. It's totally good for 3 adults, very roomy. Rear passengers get their own climate control. They have USB ports. They even have heated seats at the corners and privacy curtains, so all good there. The trunk is also a good size. It has a power tailgate and hooks, so no complaints whatsoever. Now, technology is great. You get all the modern features that a mid-class car should have in 2023. It has good driving assistance, a loud Bose sound system, and as we said, roominess inside is perfect for 5 people. Great family vehicle. Handling-wise, it's nothing to write home about. It's not a sporty SUV, but in that sense, it's completely fine. I mean, the steering has good weight, no feel whatsoever, but it is very nice. The driving position is great. The seat supports the body very well. It's also very comfortable. Visibility is awesome. It's free of surprises. Honestly, there's nothing really to discuss. The super all-wheel control system, whatever it's called, for the power it can distribute, does a great job. So it does active yaw control, so it splits the torque between the front and the rear axle. There's nothing connecting the two. It does active torque vectoring, so it can split the power left and right using the brakes. It's very neutral. Like, even if you start pushing hard, it remains very neutral all the way to the limit. And past the limit, of course, the electronics will kick in to save you. But honestly, it's a very, very neutral experience. It does lean a little bit, but it's not scary. Grip limits are really high. Honestly, you're not going to drive this car that way. Now, the downside is because this is a lot heavier than the non-plug-in hybrid version, the spring rates have been stiffened up because it's a heavier car. The result is it's all floaty and nice and comfortable over, normal surface imperfections. But once you hit a bump, like a sharp ridge or something, you feel it. It's not as comfortable as you'd expect it to be. I wouldn't say it's uncomfortable, by no means, but the overall feel is nice and soft and floaty, but then suddenly you get the surge, like the little bump, and like, whoa, what happened there? So it's, I think an unfortunate side effect of the weight that, it's carrying. I think it's about 500 or so pounds heavier than whatever non-hybrid. See, that's what I'm talking about. It's kind of weird. It's interesting, but it's still comfortable and it's quiet. So no complaints. Towing capacity is limited to 1,500 pounds. So to summarize, at $56,000 Canadian for this GT trim level, it offers great EV range and a very useful, usable form factor with a luxurious interior. But for people that pay attention to how things work, it might be a bit off-putting. For the mom or dad that don't give a shit and they just want to haul their kids back and forward safely, this is one of the best SUVs you can buy today, especially knowing that it comes with a top-notch warranty. Overall score from me is an 8 out of 10. If you like this video, please remember to subscribe to the channel, share this video with your friends, leave us a comment, press the like button, do whatever you want. Till next time, be well. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Perfect. Perfect.